The head of Hamas, who orchestrated the brutal, horrible massacre in October, had his life saved by Israeli doctors. And look how he repaid that gift of life. Let's start out with our favorite terrorist in the world. He's still alive as of about 5 minutes ago when I checked. I'm referring to the infamous Yahya Sinwar, this guy who is the head of Hamas. A lot of publicity about him lately as the IDF is looking for him. And let me give you an idea of what I'm talking about. In 1988, Yahya Sinwar was arrested and convicted of murdering 4 Palestinians and planning the murder of 2 more Israelis on top of it. He was sentenced to prison in Israel, and while in prison, he developed brain cancer. The Israeli oncologist operated on him, brain cancer, took out the tumor, saved his life in a Tel Aviv hospital. 2 years later, he was released along with like 1,000 Palestinian prisoners in exchange for 1 Israeli soldier, Gilad Shalit. He then got really active in management of Hamas, and 6 years later took over Hamas as head of their political bureau. He's basically the head of the terror unit. And 6 years later, he repaid the Israeli generosity of saving his life by plotting and carrying out the single most deadly massacre of Jews since the Holocaust.
How does that happen?
It gets worse. What he's been calling for since October 7th, I should say, quote, that was just a rehearsal. And what he says is it's going to be much worse next time.
But they saved his stinking life, and this is how he's repaying them. I mean, I'm confused.
He was sentenced to 5 life sentences. He would have been in prison till he died, but they let him out when they traded over 1,000 Palestinians for 1 Israeli soldier that was captured in Israel and brought back to Gaza. And this is how he thanks them. He literally is promising mass murder again. And listen to this. This is from the head of security in Israel. He said he did not get the nickname the Butcher of Khan Yunis, the second biggest city in Gaza, because he killed Jews. He got the name Butcher of Khan Yunis because he used to kill all the Palestinians that he said weren't loyal to him and weren't loyal to Hamas.
Wow.
So he got a terrible, terrible reputation as the Butcher, and the Butcher then got elected to run, not a joke, to run Hamas. And he carried out this massacre. And he says, as soon as we can, we're going to do something much worse.
Wow.
If Hamas survives.
You know what, Barry? This is like biting the hand that feeds you. You know, that's the way I look at it. You have someone, he's not thankful that they saved his life. And then they let him go, and he's back out there. And I've heard mention the Butcher before. And reason why
this is him. This is him.
Yeah. I've heard about the Butcher before. And my thing is the only reason why he's able to do that is because these people fear him. That's the only reason why he's there, because they fear him.
I don't know.
It's a fear tactic.
I can't climb into the minds of these freaking people that murder is a way of life. Dying, killing Jews is their goal.
Mm-hmm.
The educational system run by UNRWA in the schools teaches killing of Jews. And you're right. Israel saved his life, sent him back, and this is how he repays them. Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
So what happens when I guess if they're extra nice, they're just going to try to kill him even more. Oh, that's how that works. That's why they can't stop. That's why Israel cannot stop. Gaza needs to go ahead and be 100% part of Israel. No more sharing it. No more being able to shoot rockets from there. Enough is enough. Be done with it. This is why they won't allow me to be a leader. Because if I was in Israel, Barry, I'm telling you, if Benjamin Netanyahu gave me a call and said, "Will, we want you to come and handle it," it's done. I have it done in a week. I'm not gonna, you know what? I wouldn't even send any Israeli soldiers. I'm gonna use these planes, and I'm gonna go ahead and take out these locations. And let's go ahead and drop a couple of tactical nukes. Tactical, not the big ones. Tactical. Let's go ahead.
Well,
Barry, wait a minute. Weren't they screaming about 15-minute cities? Weren't they screaming that here lately? How do you think they're gonna get 15-minute cities? They have to level it, right? Now they're not for it. Help me understand.
Look, I get it. One of the heads of the Israeli Defense Forces said, we could have handled Hamas in one day and not one Israeli would have died. They would have, and he was talking about something like what you're talking about, which is just level it. They would have killed all of Hamas, just like the British did to the Germans, just like the Americans did to the Japanese, and it would have been done.
Yeah,
and it's the same thing Russia would have done and any other country to defend itself.
Yep. Do it. Move on. Nothing to see here.
The more that Israel bends over backwards to protect these people, the more Israelis die, the more the world hates Israel. It's the damnedest thing.